For every song that Tupac put out that moved and touched the culture positively, he had equal damaging bars.
I don't care about that.
How can you? I don't care about the song. What's up, beautiful people? This is Nadir.
It's Kev.
Yo, we're back. We're joined with our family here. Boy Shaun, K.
What up?
This is a special debate that actually we've been wanting to have for quite some time. And the title of it you're going to read is going to be kind of interesting. And yes, that is very true, what you're about to hear. But this is a debate that we wanted to have with each other, man. And definitely one thing about hip hop, it invokes a lot of emotion and conversation. But at a party I had for my daughter back in July, we were actually talking, and we were actually just partaking in some cake and just enjoying the festivities. And Kevin threw a lob out there and said, Biggie was
overrated, man.
Okay, and that actually with a screeching stop to the whole party, to where
Party over.
We almost didn't enjoy the party anymore. We kind of just it turned into a conversation about sing happy birthday, talk about Biggie, and whatever. So
truth hurts sometimes.
We wanted to talk about today. So we wanted to get we got some guests in here today, just to talk it out and see what y'all think. So Biggie's overrated.
Absolutely, man. You know what I'm saying?
In what scheme of things is Biggie overrated?
Biggie is overrated just as an artist. Like, Biggie, I will give it to you, was an exceptional rapper. Like, dude had lyrics and bars about nothing. That is Biggie's biggest flaw. His music does not travel, it does not carry, and it's not relevant today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
I ain't got no more time.
All right, I gotta lean in on this because to say that Biggie's music is not relevant today is to discount all of the people who inherited his style that are still relevant today and birth styles that are continuing to evolve today. Like, so you don't get a Jay-Z if you don't have a Big. Therefore, you don't get a Kanye. Like, I don't
think that's true.
How not?
How is that not true?
I mean, Jay existed before Big was big.
But let's be clear. Jay's style evolved as a result of Big's influence. You cannot deny that.
I don't think that
Big
had a big.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Are you telling me that Jay's style was the same?
Jay-Z would still be Jay-Z sans Big. It doesn't matter if Big existed. Jay would still be Jay.
His style, though.
We're talking about his style.
Stylistically, if you ask me, Jay got popping when he took Nas's style, not Big's.
No.
Like, no, listen. I'm saying Jay gives nods to Big, so he might fool you. But Jay's slowed down style of rapping is more reminiscent of Nas than it is of Big. And Jay's content and subject matter is more reminiscent of Nas than it is of Big.
Absolutely
Big was a horrorcore rapper, bro.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree with that.
So because if you think about early Nas, at the time when Jay arrived on the scene, the Nas that was rapping at that point was a very different Nas than the Nas you're talking about in terms of his association with Big, because Nas was Project Windows, very gritty, like it was a different Nas. The jig rapping, the money rapping, the drug rapping, that was not a Nas that was available at that time. That was a Big
That was
style.
never Nas.
What I'm saying is that was Jay.
That was Jay, right.
Man,
Reasonable
when you
Doubt
listen to
Jay
Reasonable
was
Doubt,
money route, drug rap, that was not Nas.
Listen, what I'm saying is, when you listen to Reasonable Doubt, like, even though Jay was speaking on those topics, he was a lot more introspective than Biggie ever was. When you listen to a song like Regrets, Big doesn't have that in his catalog.
Hold on a minute. So what do you think Everyday Struggle was about?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Man, a whole bunch of storytelling. That was it.
So I don't want to live no more.
Right.
Sometimes I'm feeling death staring at my front door. Like, what? I'm living
Good for
every
you.
day as a struggle. I never
So
judged
what?
a struggle.
Who wasn't rapping that, bro? Like, who wasn't rapping that? Who wasn't rapping that? What was new about
But
that?
you can't say on one hand you're saying that somebody like Jay got deep on a track, and Biggie did the same thing. Now, it might not have been what you expected from it, but it was the exact same thing. His perspective on what was going on at the time. See, your biggest thing is you don't think that Biggie got too in depth. You thought he was just rapping words, and I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. Especially on some of the tracks he talked about things, man. Like the first album. Okay, so we're going to it as far as the first album. You were saying it's overheard, or you didn't like it, so to speak. You didn't like that one.
It's not great in my opinion.
Juicy, if aliens came down to Earth right now and they asked, what is hip hop? Juicy would be in that rotation.
I pray that it wouldn't, bro, because they would be right back out like, man, that hip hop stuff overrated.
You can't bring up hip hop and not bring up Big.
Bruh, I mean, if aliens were to come down, if they wanted an example of hip hop, bro, and they needed something from, you know what I'm saying, the early 90s, I'm playing them Pac all day. Like, I mean, that's just straight up. I mean, Pac's music is still relevant today, bro. Big's music is not relevant today. It doesn't carry. It doesn't travel. The production is, you know what I'm saying,
What?
can be thank you. I wasn't even going to say that. I was going to say lackluster, but Boo Boo fits a little bit better. Like, listening to Ready to Die Now, that album sounds so dated. And if you listen to other albums, like, you listen to It Was Written, it doesn't sound dated today. You listen to Reasonable Doubt, it doesn't sound dated today.
It Was Written? I mean, not It Was Written. Reasonable Doubt doesn't sound dated?
Not at all, bro. Reasonable Doubt sounds great.
So it sounds like it could be a currency beat selection.
Exactly.
So in your opinion, Ready to Die sounds dated because of the production or because of the bars?
The production and the bars.
I would have to say it's a combination.
Absolutely. When I listen to that album now, I'm just ready for it to be over.
So does Tupacalypse sound dated to you?
Tupacalypse now? A little bit, man. A little bit.
Let's be real. Let's keep it funky.
Yeah. But All Eyes on Me still rides.
Yeah, I don't ever recall people saying that Tupacalypse Now was like where Tupac hit his stride or it's critically acclaimed. It's just a foundation.
So I'm glad you said that, because if that's a foundation, what I'm talking about with B.I.G. is that he had 2 outings. That's it, right?
Okay.
And it was no hit, no stride. He took off from the very beginning. It was no evolution. It was like, I am a dope rapper, an artist, and I'm changing the conversation about what hip-hop is from the moment I entered the game. And that is not what you can say about Tupac. Tupac had to evolve in this as a character that he developed. Let's not be clear, because when he started, he was wearing dashikis, he was wearing unks. He was a different person, and he evolved.
You talking about Tupac at 18 versus Tupac at 25?
Why does that not count?
It has to count. And also you got to realize that was Tupac with Shock G influence.
Yeah.
Once he left Shock G, it went into the whole gangster rap and all that stuff. It was 2 different characters. Almost like you would even look at 2 different artists.
A lot of the same message, though.
Right.
Some of the same message. I can't say it was
message.
all the same message. No, Tupac he talked about things that, and I hate the fact that we bring up Pac every time Biggie comes up. But
they don't have to go hand in hand. But I only use Pac as an example because if you look at Pac's legacy and what Pac put into the game and how relevant Pac is today versus what Biggie put into the game and how relevant Biggie is today, the best example that you can give is that Biggie influenced other artists. Pac's actual music is still relevant today. Big's music is
the world,
influencing the world. Exactly. Moving beyond hip hop.
Pac and the thing that kills me is whenever Pac fans bring this up, man, you had about 3 or 4 tracks that Pac was influential. About 3 or 4. He had
Try 3 or 4 albums.
Albums?
Yes.
Pac had a lot of fillers. Y'all killing me. He had a lot of filler on there too. I mean, how many Hennessy and Enemies are you going to put on an album?
He's got a double disc greatest hits, and they're all hitting. And I mean, he's got the versatility to do it.
So
I can't agree on that one.
What my challenge to that statement is when you're distilling influence, you're looking at it from a perspective only related to his impact on the culture, right? And to say then that Biggie has not had the same or similar impact on the culture is kind of reductive, because Biggie's impact on the culture is from a different point of view, and that point of view is very still relevant, because the experiences that black men are having in communities, the fact that they feel like they have a lack of options, those things are very relevant today. And if you go to a certain neighborhood with a certain clientele, they're going to play Big because that was represents them.
Absolutely not. But I'm saying,
talk about the climate of today and our culture. I think 99.9% of those individuals are going to lean to some Pac. You know what I mean?
The militant view?
Not even the militant view.
What view? I'm saying,
what view of Pac do you think is?
Listen to how inspirational Pac was.
Yeah, I think just the fact where he was trying to bring it back home to the community.
Absolutely.
Pac was saying, let's get the money, let's bring it back to the community, let's empower ourselves, which is a lot of what we're hearing now when you listen to Nas' album Done. What is he talking about? The racial, economic inequality, let's try to stop it. I remember Pac saying things very similar. You know what I mean?
So, but what I'm saying to you is, that I'm not eliminating that impact on the culture, right? What I'm saying is that it doesn't come at a cost to another influential rapper. And it seems like whenever we have the argument about Tupac and Big, it means that Pac's influence somehow means that Big's needs to be diminished.
It doesn't.
And what I'm saying to you is that Notorious Big's influence on the culture of hip hop absolutely is still relevant today. It may not be relevant in the circles that you travel, but but the point that I'm not trying to make is that when people want to hear that point of view, Big is the founding author of it. So and probably the most skilled artist at that
time. At that time, I mean, there have been many that have surpassed him at this point.
No, but that's a lot of people.
I wouldn't go with
many.
But there's a lot of people that surpass a lot of people from that point. I mean, music is going to is going to evolve. But to some of the lines that Biggie put as far as rapping wise, them are some of the greatest bars ever.
Give
rapped.
them to me.
What?
Okay,
he fuck you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
He'll do you and throw you over
the bridge.
That's what everyone, as far as the big thing.
Or that he was dreaming about having sex with Raven Simone when she was 10.
But what I'm saying,
you know what I'm saying? Or he'll fill you up like the Twinkie.
But listen, but let's be clear though. See, you're applying a perspective is looking back on a time when shock rap was a thing, right? So you're applying. So that's like saying now Eminem is no longer valid as an artist because
Eminem's early stuff isn't that great. Like, I mean, he's got some hits.
Say that's his legacy. Nobody's saying Eminem has changed the culture though.
No. We're saying though because Eminem has shock rap, you're not going to diminish that Eminem is probably in people's top 10 rappers of all time.
Lyrically, skill wise.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as cultural impact, no.
But see, you can't separate the two. They have to go hand in hand.
No, they don't.
Hold on a minute. So
not at all.
So this is a different conversation. So Eminem doesn't have a cultural impact on hip hop?
I wouldn't say top 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
a white guy rapping is not culturally
considered the best.
Exactly.
It doesn't trickle through. But that's not the point. Eminem's job isn't to open the door. That wasn't his job because that requires a mentorship, right? He doesn't have to do that. The fact is that at the time that he was doing it, he was considered among the best. That's the breakthrough.
I mean, if you want to use that argument, at the time that Hammer was doing it, he was considered one of the best.
No, he was not. He was considered one of the most popular.
Yeah, he was
very different.
So was him. Like I'm saying, you listen to early Eminem. He's a very good rapper, but he talked about a lot of nothing. What?
So you're saying that Eminem at his best, at his peak, was not considered one of the best rappers out?
A very good rapper, but that was it.
The skill. We're talking about the actual
impact.
What are these songs doing to push the culture? Nobody's. I mean, the biggest thing he did as far as impact was, like you said, the shock rap, and then bringing it to like the visual side of.
No. Let me add another point that I think you guys are undervaluing. Eminem made it possible for a battle rapper to become mainstream. He was the one, right? That opened the door for battle rappers now to see like, wow, we can put content together and deliver an album. And that opened the door for an entire network of people. Like, that is a part of the culture.
Everybody was a battle rapper in the beginning of the culture. Jay Battle, Big L.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
But I'm talking about the persona. Like, I am known as everybody battle, right? That's true.
Eminem wasn't known as a battle rapper.
Absolutely, he was.
No, he wasn't. Not when he got famous. He was not known as a battle rapper. We know that he's a battle rapper. Okay, I'm saying who was listening to it besides people in the industry? Who was sitting around like Eminem is the greatest battle rapper of all time? Push him to the forefront. No, my name is push him to the forefront because it was a quirky sound that people could.
He wouldn't have gotten there though because because if you remember that era when you get Clue mixtapes, all the different mixtapes, it was his battle bars that people were listening to, and people were like, same thing happened with.
Is that what blew him up?
People were like,
no, that's not what blew him up.
No, that's not what blew him up.
We're not talking about what blew him up because we're talking about what his transition means to the culture. The same, because people looked at Eminem saying battle rapper became mainstream. We were hoping the same for cannabis. It did not happen for cannabis.
I was about to say
but what I'm saying to you is battle rapper as artists changed the conversation about what's possible for battle rappers, and people looked at him because of that.
The fact is, it hasn't happened though. Like, so what impact did he really have? He didn't have these labels say, "Oh, let's everybody go find a battle rapper."
Again, that's not his responsibility.
No, I'm saying it was an impact, then the labels are going to follow suit.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you're gonna hang your argument on the fact that Big didn't have influential songs and he was just rapping, you're gonna throw out a lot of people in your list of rappers, though.
You know what though? Another point that we really kind of need to get away from, like we're talking about rappers. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking at Big as just a rapper. I'm talking about the music that he actually put out into the world as an artist. Does it hang with what is the best that's out there. And it, in my opinion, it just doesn't. Listening to Ready to Die right now, it's not a great album. It did not age well. He's got hit songs, but they're just hits. Like they're just songs.
Would they even be hits today?
It makes you wonder. I mean, Big Papa was a cool song. It was a song about nothing. I mean, we got to be honest about it. You listen to Pac right now. Pac's music is still relevant today. I mean, how many people rapped over Ambitions as a Rider? Like, come on.
So the rap. Okay, what was the song?
Keep Your Head Up comes on Biggie every day. It seems like
every night I perform like Mike. What was that track?
Television every month.
That was Victory.
Right.
Victory. So Victory. You gotta put. I mean, we're going not so much even the album as far as Born. Ready to Die. Victory. Just
Victory
that
was
track.
on Puff Daddy's album.
I'm giving that credit to Diddy.
Yeah,
but that was
which he gets a lot of
bars.
the credit.
Those we're talking about. That was Biggie's bars.
Big had a verse.
But I'm saying though, we're talking about. I'm just saying everything.
Verses,
We're talking everything in a vacuum as far as all the albums, his verses he's put. The fact he was an exceptional rapper, he had content to songs. You might not agree with him. You might not think that those songs meant anything to you, and I get all that. But when you listen to everything that he's put out, what he rapped about, he was an elite. There was nobody rapping like him. Big L might have been on his level at that point. Nobody else rapped like Big. He was the best rapper at his time.
That's cool. And he was the best rapper. I'm talking about an artist.
He made good songs as well.
But okay.
MC Hammer made good songs, bro.
I can't imagine.
Vanilla Ice had a hit.
Vanilla Ice had a hit.
See, now you're just being like ridiculous. Talking about you gonna put Hammer and Vanilla Ice in the class of Big.
We're talking about hits. Yes, we're talking about who
at the time.
So okay, let's be clear though. When you're talking about an artist, you're talking about the ability to do all things in the art, right? So we know that Biggie could battle. Right, we know that Biggie could storytell. We know that Biggie could change his flow up. We know that Biggie could do a guest feature and flip the song completely. Like, so I guess what could Biggie not do sonically from your standpoint?
Innovate. Yes, that's a very good point.
And what do you mean by that? I
understand what that means. Yeah.
I didn't hear anything where I was like, this sounds brand new. This sounds fresh. And really, if you want to listen to...
Right, that's what I was about to say. Go ahead. You finish that point, and I want you to...
What did Pac make?
What was his innovation?
What was his innovation?
I would say being able to tie, pushing the black agenda in his music and being able to get that to stand on a major, or on a
bigger
popular
platform.
Yeah. Public Enemy did that.
Yeah, it was a lot of artists that did that better.
Level, though.
Oh yeah, what?
Tribe Quest did that. Like, I mean, what do you
mean?
mean?
On Pac's level, though.
Yeah,
those
NWA did that as well.
Those are niche artists. Pac is.
I mean, I'll give you NWA because I think Cube is better than Biggest Way.
You say NWA.
Yeah, NWA.
Public Enemy.
Like Public Enemy, I mean
911's
a joke.
Fight the Power, 911's a joke. But who's listening to it now?
Who's listening to that?
But okay, see,
that's important. But that is important.
It is
who's listening to it right now?
But if it wasn't no 911's a joke, there wouldn't have been a lot of the things that we listen to now.
Listen, man, y'all can't hang your hat. That was the foundation. You can't hang your hat on that though. Who is listening to it right? Listen. I can listen.
Your argument.
Listen, no, I'm saying I can listen to an album from 1973. I will use Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and today sonically that album is still impeccable. It doesn't matter your age. It's a timeless album. These are timeless songs. No, you're making excuses for Big.
No, I'm not making excuses.
Those are excuses. I'm saying when I listen to Ready to Die, why can't I? They're artists. They make music.
But hip hop is different.
Oh my god.
Hip hop is totally different when you say that though.
Bro, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
I guess on whose standard are you applying the fact that Big's music is not still relevant?
All artists. If I can't go back and listen to his music right now, if I can't play that music for somebody who hasn't heard it and their mind not be blown, if they're just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? What is this?
So you feel if somebody who's never was versed in hip hop and you put on a Biggie album, they wouldn't appreciate it?
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
See, that's just
like y'all are romanticizing Big, bro.
Versed in hip hop, but we're talking about in comparison to his peers. If we're gonna get somebody and they're not versed to hip hop,
I'm saying,
and that's the only thing they heard. Right. Of course, it's going to be decent because, like we said, at that time, it was what it was.
Right.
But it hasn't aged well. It hasn't been able to stand up to the bar with its contemporaries.
What do you mean it hasn't aged well? Because the same thing, you say that you hear Tupac songs every single day.
Man, I hear Dear Mama every Mother's Day.
Every Mother's Day.
I mean, you can hear Biggie songs every single year. Like, what do you... Like,
every award show we hear
on
Juicy.
On his birthday, on the day he died.
What are you talking about?
When are we hearing this actually in the culture?
So you don't...
So Dear Mama...
Maybe on a soundtrack with an old
Big Papa is not an annual airplay. Like
Yes.
that's not an annual rotation.
I haven't heard that on the radio, and
You heard of the BET Music Awards this year?
I don't watch that.
it.
Yeah, I don't watch that. But I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? We'll keep it all the way funky. When we were coming up, you know what I'm saying? When Big was hot in 95, 96, me and him were 8, 9 years old. So that music, you know what I'm saying? It was what it was. We heard it on the radio.
So this is a generational
Well, no, I'm
gap.
saying we didn't listen. We didn't live with it. And I mean, I heard Pac more then, but even going back and listening to Pac as an adult, I could appreciate his music and what he was saying. Going back and listening to Big and combing through his catalog, there wasn't much there. And I feel like for our generation, a lot of folks are gonna feel like that. I can understand, you know what I'm saying, if you were coming into your own when Big was coming up, how that music would be sentimental or how it would mean something to you because that was where you were at that time. But that doesn't mean that his music is standing the test of time. If I can't go back, if I can't present this music to somebody who, you know what I'm saying, didn't come up with it and have them still enjoy it, then it didn't age well. Like the music wouldn't have been all of that. I'm saying I could play Keep Your Head Up for, you know what I'm saying, my 15, 16-year-old. I can play that for my 15, 16-year-old sister, and she will still feel that because the emotions.
That song is very dated, though.
Bro.
Very dated.
Bro.
Sonically?
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
The message
period.
isn't.
The message is
The
not dead
message
at all.
is good.
And what's dead about it sonically?
The
And
message
I
is
don't-
dope.
Yeah, I've heard worse beats recently.
Recently, right.
Good.
People that's trying to get that old sound back. I've heard worse beats
but
recently.
but that's not Pac's work, right? The beat,
But
the beat is not
beat
Pac's work.
selection, I'm giving the artist credit for that.
But
Yeah.
Biggie has one of the best ears.
No,
No, Puff
Puff.
has one of the best
That's
ears.
Puff.
But what I'm saying,
Puff
to you
has
is-
one of the best ears.
Then I can say that Drake has one of the best ears because
I agree.
does.
He does.
But how are you saying that Pac gets credit for choosing the beats when he had producers, but Big doesn't get credit? Like, I
Because
don't
wasn't nobody
understand-
tailoring Pac's music.
Yeah, and I
Big-
don't.
What Shock G
Puff-
was?
yeah,
What
Shock
are
Taylor-
you talking
We talking about?
about?
We just said
We
earlier in the
just
argument
talked
that he
about
was
this.
two
All right,
different artists.
so
About
tell me what exactly did Shock G tailor for Tupac? Tell me that. Besides taking him on tour, what did Shock
what
G
sounded
tailor
like Shock G?
for Tupac?
Okay,
I mean, did Tupac have
let me-
anybody that throughout his entire career just tailored his whole sound and told him what to rap over?
Okay,
I don't think
if
that they
can.
did.
All right, I said it earlier in the argument. The very first and second album of Tupac, he was Ankh, he was Motherhood, he was all those things. Then he changed it to a gangster rapper towards the end of his career. All right, that's
He was always that.
no. The first two albums, he wasn't on that gangster album stuff.
You could always
Bro.
get it with
Holla If You
Tupac.
Hear Me
Right.
was probably the only track where he really got so much
always
military.
get it with
But as far
Tupac,
as
man.
he was, can y'all at least accept the fact or even acknowledge the fact the Shock G influence versus the Suge Knight influence was two totally different artists. They were two totally different
I
sounds.
mean, they were two totally different
Totally
record labels.
different cities.
So
Totally
that goes
different
back to
environments.
our debate as far as ushering in the sound. The sound was influenced by whoever he was around. That was Tupac's thing. Who he was around was who he was.
Wasn't nobody tailoring Tupac's sound though. I mean, we already know that Puff was making Big make Big Papas and One More Chances
Once
and get
again,
on these R&B songs.
I'm gonna
That
pose-
was not Big style. He was
I'm
tailored to
going to
that.
pose the
Was
question
being able
again.
to-
I'm going to pose the question again. The first two albums, okay, Pac had a different influence. Shock G, the whole Ankh rap, the whole everything that he was on at that point was Shock G.
Listen, but Pac's message really didn't change that much. He still gave you what was going to be out there. I mean, Brenda's Got a
Okay,
Baby.
you're focusing on the good things as far as that. And we're going to talk about the BS he put out towards the end of his career when he talked
Pac
about
put out so much music
That was influenced
all right, there was
by-
going to be some in there.
Okay,
Right,
but
and
that
I
was
gotta
was
give that
influenced
to
by
Nas
who he
over
was
a lot
around
of
at the
artists.
time
Right.
as well.
If we're gonna be talking about who is in the top or who is in the upper echelon, work ethic definitely has to be part
Absolutely.
of that conversation.
Nah.
Absolutely not. You
No.
can't throw me about a bunch of junk bars and say
Nah.
that I got to work at
So
it.
quality
Junk
over
bars.
quantity.
Yes, Pac has a ton of junk bars.
ton.
Let's be
He
honest.
also
Let's be
has a
honest.
ton more songs. He should. If you only put out two albums,
But
why
what
you
I'm
got so
saying
many
is,
junk bars?
but that's what I'm saying. You don't get extra credit
Big-
for sending me more
Listen,
junk
No,
work.
Big's
He
catalog
has
being so
way
condensed,
more.
there's no excuse for him to have so many lackluster songs in there.
Right.
Like, I mean, it is
His
what it is.
catalog
Like
is-
I said, I will give you that he was a good lyricist, but there is a lot of just trash in his catalog. Like, the songs are a lot about nothing. Like, there's nothing going on. When you listen to Machine Gun Funk, there is nothing going on in that song but him rapping. Listen, every Friday on 106 in Park, bruh, we heard amazing bars from those Freestyle Friday guys. Where are they now? Nobody cares because that music did not push the culture. And it is what it is. Pac had a lot in his catalog, and maybe not all of it was fantastic, but listen, he's got so many songs that actually did move and touch the culture.
But I can say to you that for every song that Tupac put out that moved and touched the culture positively, he had equal damaging bars.
I don't care about that.
How can you?
I don't care about
You can't
care about that.
Hold on.
I'm saying you can't give you both sides. You can't. I'm saying you can't have both sides. You can't have both sides.
No, you can have both sides, but you can't discredit Biggie for the same exact thing and then say you
No,
don't care
what
about
I'm discrediting Biggie for is that it was absent. It was absent in his music.
You can't sit here and discredit Biggie for the same thing and then say absent-minded about what Tupac did. The exact same thing.
Because Pac put out so much content that was so moving and compelling that I can excuse, you know what I'm saying, the filler.
Okay.
Big was filler. It was like he had Juicy and Sky is the Limit. The rest is filler.
Big,
it is filler. He was a good rapper.
Anything that you say Big did to touch the culture, we could arguably say that was Puff pulling strings.
Yes, I mean he was a pop rapper.
So I'm gonna go back.
He was a hardcore rapper.
I'm gonna go back to my original. I'm gonna go back once again. I'm gonna go back once again to my debate. The earlier Tupac was Shock G influenced. How y'all you admit that?
Bro,
so you gonna say that Shock G wasn't pulling the strings? He had that man being a background dancer, helping teddy bears.
All right, but
you think that
who was Tupac back then? Right? Who was Tupac back then?
Was he supposed to have some leverage at that point?
Right.
Like
we're talking about 18, 19-year-old Tupac. Who was he at that time? Who was he? No, I'm saying who was he at that time?
He was.
Who was he?
He was a young dude trying.
I'm saying, was he a star? Was he a superstar? Was he on the biggest platform at that time, or was he coming up in the game?
But there's other artists that entered the game at 18 on their own terms. Like you don't have to do things you don't want to do just to get in the game. That's a false.
I'm not saying he didn't want to do it.
Right.
So what I'm saying to you is,
what didn't he go to Juilliard or something?
So what I'm saying is you cannot discredit the manicured nature of his getting in the game. Like you're trying.
Like
to
what are we talking about here? I'm still trying to figure out what are we talking about here because I'm sitting there talking
with him paying his dues when he's stepping in the door.
What I'm trying to figure out,
y'all making some excuses.
No, I'm saying what I'm trying to figure out is what made Biggie so great. Okay, he was a good lyricist. He was a very good lyricist. You know what I'm saying? An upper echelon lyricist. What made him so great beyond that?
Okay,
what music did he make that moved the culture? What is still relevant today?
Let me know you're done.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, I'm going to pose the question with the question. I hate doing this.
Okay,
what made Biggie? Okay, as far as my question to you, Biggie made music. He made songs. Okay, what about him? You know he's an amazing lyricist. You can admit that. What about him made him not good on
the music? Is not good today.
Man, that's good.
Like that is what it pulls down to. It has an expiration date. That music has spoiled.
That's the perfect analogy.
So the same way you guys can put on Dear Mama or whatever introspective track, and I want you guys to point out the introspective tracks that Tupac has put out.
Listen, right? You know what? We can back away from the Tupac argument because this isn't a Tupac versus Biggie argument.
I'm just going to put it back just for reference sake because you elevate one artist. I want to know why you elevate him, and they pretty much go hand in hand in my opinion a lot of times. If you're going to say that about Biggie and say he didn't have any introspective albums, 10 Crack Commandments. Okay, it might not have been me. I didn't sell crack, but guess what? Somebody who did. That was definitely rules to follow by.
Bro, what kind of dummy doesn't know not to give a crackhead credit, bro?
Hey, man, that's a lot of people that probably didn't know.
That's nothing. But there's nothing amazing about that.
There always is a point as far as just saying that a rapper who wrote about that, and it's still one of the most classic songs to this day, hip hop wise. It's still going to be elevated.
I hear that. I feel nothing like that. It doesn't evoke any emotion when I hear that.
It doesn't touch you.
Because it doesn't touch you.
Does it touch you? Right.
Because it wasn't y'all's lived experience.
Right. Listen, my experience or not, bro. If the music doesn't move me, it doesn't move me. Like, if you play that song, or if you play most of Big stuff, for, you know what I'm saying, like I said, any young person who's not been exposed to it or who didn't come up with it, do you really think that they're going to sit there and be like, yeah, I want to hear more? They're going to be like, yo, turn this off. I don't want to hear this anymore.
And you think that they want to hear more Tupac? Tupac was one of the worst lyricists out there.
I'm saying. Listen, I'm saying.
I
listen to Pac and Big evenly as a kid. When I got to be an adult, I listened to Pac more than I listened to Big because Big's catalog had expired. Like it was stale.
That was a preference by you.
But Pac's catalog was still relevant. Like it was relevant to what was going on then. It was relevant to what was going on right now.
So Brendan, I don't understand how. I don't understand how you didn't.
What, the 10 Crack Commandments?
No, not just that song. I'm just saying.
Hustling before that.
No, I'm just talking about just period.
What did that do to actually change anything? Like what? He highlighted what he knew, what he was doing.
I only put it on one song.
What's any different about what NWA was talking about on Dope Man than 10 Crack Commandments?
So Brenda's Got a Baby is still relevant today?
Absolutely.
Stop it.
Absolutely.
Stop it.
What?
Stop it.
Bro, what? Are you serious?
I don't understand how
Casey just signed something to stop abortion for like 9 weeks or something, bro. A lot of Brenda's
actually he vetoed that bill. But what I'm saying to you is, is how do you think that's relevant today, and people hustling trying to just make $1 is not. Like, I don't understand how
exactly.
you can,
that's what I'm saying.
And then after that, then it just becomes about preference, because you can't say,
and that's what it is.
So what?
If we got 90% of the industry talking about that, why are we going to listen to the bottom of it? Why are we going to listen to the stuff that's not sonically appealing when we got Pusha T's now, and we got Jeezy now, and we got more. If we want to talk about hustling, we got way more sonically appealing things.
We got Jay. We got Jay.
Like, and if it wasn't no Jay, it wasn't no Big, there'd be no Jay.
Man, stop that, man. That's
y'all
not true.
Y'all gotta acknowledge that, man.
Jay was around before Big.
How do all these other rappers come up in the conversation when all we're asking is what was great about
Only because we're trying to get an opinion, because we can debate about what made Biggie relevant in both of our eyes. We're going to say, we're going to point out songs, you're going to shoot it down because it was a preference thing. So in order to get away from the preference thing, we have to put other artists in there.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you like those albums then?
What?
Yes.
Like those back then, did you like those albums?
Yes.
So why would it be surprising that you like them right now? Like, now when I didn't listen to those albums back then. When I got around to them as an adult, they weren't appealing. So same experience for him, and the same experience. But I'm saying the same experience.
The resources to hear
the same experience.
I'm like, yo,
for a lot of the people that came up in, you know what I'm saying, around the same time as us, they had the exact same experience. And mind you, I asked around about this. I'm like, yo, how do you feel about it? And it's like, you know, dude's okay. A lot of people are scared to say, like, hey, I don't like Big, because that's the response that you get from folks that really love Big. But you loved him back then. If you came into this with a blind ear, you know what I'm saying, just experiencing Big just now for the first time, that music sounds stale and dated. It has expired. There was nothing lasting about that music.
Man, I'm gonna give Puffy all
his credit though.
The Jerry Jones, man. Like he made a hell of a profit with a lot of mediocre, man.
So then we gotta give Suge the same kudos then.
No.
Because Suge put the battery in Pac's back to become this gangster rapper that he was. Pac didn't grow up in no gangster.
I don't think Pac's legacy is gangster rap, man. I don't think that's what. As far as what we're talking about, what he's hanging his hat on, I think again, it's that black empowerment, man. It's that knowledge of what's really going down.
And that was early Tupac. To go a little bit further on that, I don't think that at any point Suge was behind any boards producing any beats or telling Pac exactly how to kick his flows. All right, so Dre gave Pac a couple of beats. You know what Pac said about Dre? Dre works too slow. I don't have time to work with Dre. He works too slow. He takes too long. That is not a part of my artistic drive or my artistic preference. I can't work with Dre like that. So they might have a couple of songs together. They got California Love. They got those tracks together. But Dre is not what made Pac. Right. All right, they have some songs together, cool. But that's not what made Pac. Puff built Biggie. Like the reason that we got Biggie in the package that we have, yes, he is Puff's creation. Puff built him up from the clay. Like, I mean, is there any denying that? Did Puff not have a hand in everything that Big did?
Puff put polish on what already
existed before.
Yeah,
what existed before?
I think
you can't. We don't have any.
I think
nothing.
The issue is
right. We don't have any pre-Puff Biggie
because Biggie was discovered off the street by Puff, right? So that part of it is true in that he had to be discovered and then he hit the ground running, but Puffy had no role in the content of what Biggie created.
Puffy had a lot of control in the content that Biggie created.
That Biggie is currently on. I think Puffy had a role in that.
Biggie would have never made a Big Papa without Puff. Like, Biggie does not make One More Chance without Puff.
What I'm saying to you is that Puff didn't write those bars. Puff didn't.
He didn't.
He told
Biggie what to write about. He gave him the subject.
Puff said, "We need a song for the ladies." Big, like, I got you. Like, I don't understand how that then makes it Puff's accomplishment. Like,
Puff made that hook. Puff had the relationship with Mary J. Blige. Like, Puff created Big.
He was the executive producer.
How did he create Big? He didn't create Big.
The image, I can't hear anything. And maybe it's because hold on. We don't have any pre-Puff Big to listen to, but I can't hear.
Okay, I will give you one part of this. I'll give you one part of this. Puffy may have given the player side of Big. He might have whole big guy being a player. I'll give you that. Puffy probably did give him that sound. But there was a lot more to Biggie than just the player part of it.
Right, the horrorcore.
Oh my God.
that's the other side of it. The horrorcore. Where Big was going,
He'll steal your girl and then hit her daughter and throw her off the bridge.
Throw her off the bridge, man. You know what I'm saying? His man Gutter was all over the place for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Are these not bars? Is this not what Big said out of his own mouth?
Biggie has some suspect bars.
All right. How good did she look? How good did she look again? How good did she look?
Biggie has suspect bars.
Tell me how good did she look? No.
We're at that portion of the pod. Go ahead.
How good did she look?
Go ahead.
Tell me how good did she look?
Big said she looked so good I sucked on her daddy's dick. Yes, he did say that.
All right.
Shock rap.
These are your heroes.
Shock rap.
What I'm saying to you is that at the time you're placing today's sensibility, and I think that says more about your culture and generation, in that a person can say something like that at the time and never be considered gay.
Never.
What I'm saying is now, though, y'all rappers are so suspect that no rapper today can say that without being questioned, because y'all are so soft.
I don't give that the pass at all. That's the worst.
We're not gonna go too far. We're not gonna go too far into that, because listen. I'm saying
if Young Thug says that, y'all gonna be like, whoa.
Biggie's got a lot of.
If anybody says that, they do not get a pass. Nobody gets a pass for that.
I'm gonna give you these three things.
Nobody in the 90s batted an eye to that line.
Nobody did. I didn't realize until I got older.
Nobody in the 90s batted an eye.
That just tells me that y'all weren't listening, or that y'all just love this man so much that you were willing to let anything slide.
A lot of shock rap at that time.
But what I'm saying is,
where's it at now?
Pac had questionable bars too.
Where are they at?
If my homie calls, when he said something to the line of when we was a pee-wee, you was up to my knee with my wee-wee, like, what are you talking about?
That's suspect as well.
He's not talking about the dude sucking it.
You're about waist high.
When you was a pee-wee, you was up to my knee with a wee-wee. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
he's not talking about anything sexual.
Right.
I know that.
But what I'm saying to you though is that
horrorcore,
when you're applying today's sensibilities to historical content. So are you telling me is Richard Pryor?
Big said he would run in your ass crack.
Hold on, Kev.
Are you saying that is Richard Pryor is not one of the greatest comedians of all time?
Listen, man, I know that everybody loves to rest their hat on that. It was a Richard Pryor line. It was a Richard Pryor pun. He didn't have to say it, but even beyond that, Big
is a comedian. Big ain't no comedian.
Right, Big is not a comedian.
He's an artist.
He's an artist.
Y'all are being ridiculous. He is an artist. So if you're an artist and you're trying to make a point and you want to be as illustrative as you can take from all different types of art. And if you take from a comedian who is considered a legend and use that content in the delivery of your rap, which is something that many people were like, "Whoa, this dude is out here sampling Richard Pryor lines." Like that is.
Bro, is that amazing?
What are you talking about?
Is that
amazing?
How many Richard Pryor lines could he have chose from, bro?
But not to deliver that point.
Not to deliver that point. Yeah.
Not to deliver that point. Like you.
All right, tell me.
An artist. So
tell me why Gutter was going to kidnap kids, rape them in the ass, and throw them off the bridge. Explain that to me. First of all, I want to know.
Push myself.
I want to know.
I mean, he said shoot your daughter in the calf while some fucking tussle. He said a lot of things.
Right. He talked about getting a shootout with a man. They turned around and he was hold his daughter and he shot the daughter. Like he got a lot of different things, man.
All right, I'm saying what's amazing about that?
Once again, it goes back to preference, Kev. It always circles back to preference.
But what your preference is that it's amazing. So what is amazing about it?
What's amazing about it?
What I'm saying is he paints a picture.
That's exactly
what I'm saying. And if you're trying to paint the picture of how vile and criminal you'll be to destroy your enemies, you will paint the worst picture possible. What's the worst thing you can do to a man? I am going to tear your daughter apart and throw her over a bridge. It's like that. He is trying to paint the worst picture possible.
So why was he rapping about molesting Raven Simone? Please explain that to me. What was amazing? Why was that amazing? What was amazing about that bar?
You can't say reoccurring. Well, I mean, about 4 or 5 shock lines you could say that was like.
Okay. He had 2 albums.
Off the top of the head. I haven't listened deep enough. I'm sure
it wasn't that many. Just like there wasn't that many. I mean.
Bruh. I need an explanation. What was so amazing?
It was shock rap. It was a shock rap.
And nobody said that particular line was amazing. Like,
right.
Where are the amazing ones?
On great nights I perform like Mike.
All right, man. That was a cool little bar.
We're gonna talk about shock rap.
See, when I give you an example, you're saying
about shock rap that was able to somewhat push the culture. Look at the Marshall Mathers LP, bro.
But I'm saying
that's shock rap that was not.
But that was once again.
You said Marshall Mathers a minute ago didn't even push the culture.
Exactly. You just said it didn't push culture.
If we're talking about shock rap, me personally, I don't feel shock rap
has
a place in hip hop.
It always will.
I don't think it has, and I don't think it's very relevant.
Young Thug is making a career out of it.
y'all.
Hey, but it's a lot of
not even with his
it's a lot of
music.
artists bigger than
Not
that,
even
man,
not
that's
even
having to do
with his music, with his actions. Young Thug's on a cover with a dress
the
on.
publicity
I'm saying what
Right,
I'm saying. I say
He's
all
trolling.
that. I say all that to say shock rap will always be here. It'll always be there.
Like I said, it's not. I just
Like 21
I don't
Savage
give
is
it
all
as much
shock rap.
credence as I would the actual hip hop, bro. Like it's not. It's
But
not
see,
a
that's
big
where
enough.
that's where I think
thing
you
to
guys
push
shoot
the
yourselves in the
culture.
foot, because if you look at actual hip hop, Big is the embodies actual hip hop.
What I'm going to say to you with that, you're talking about the shock rap. All right, so where do you think that music will be in 10 years?
But where was it?
No.
It will always be.
It'll always be here.
No.
It'll
I'm
always
talking
be somebody here.
I'm talking about for the artists that are doing it right now, for the 21 Savages. Where's 21 Savage's catalog going to be in 10 years?
Oh, he gonna be a sick guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
all right, so
Right, but how many J's have there been since then?
Right.
And
So, but
Big is a part of that lineage. I don't
man,
understand what
I know that y'all want to give that. I know that
I
y'all
don't
want to give
give
Big that
Big
nod, but I'm not
J's
giving.
credit, man.
Yeah, I'm not giving Big J's credit.
No,
not giving
it
it credit.
But Jay gives Big.
That was his friend.
Like I
He-
don't understand how you
Big,
take
the
him.
big homie. If you the big
Yes.
homie from where I'm from and you pass, I'm gonna always pay homage, bro.
Yes.
Right.
You was the big
so,
homie
So
when
then
I was
how
coming
how
up.
are you then going to take that away from Jay? Like how are you saying I'm not listening to
giving
Jay
Big-
anymore?
That's
because
like me saying. That's like LeBron saying because I grew up watching MJ, it's MJ's fault I'm LeBron.
no.
I'm not giving
But MJ was the
just
best
because
though.
he inspired that man.
but if LeBron says MJ gets credit, how can you then say no, LeBron?
But
MJ don't get the credit. You say
because he wasn't with me shooting in the gym. That's
Right.
why.
Right.
But what I'm
Right.
saying
Are you saying that? Are you saying that LeBron wouldn't be LeBron if MJ didn't exist? Like no.
There's a large
No.
part of you don't
But
know
perhaps
that.
he might
He
not.
might not
Oh
have.
my
You don't
God.
understand.
You don't know that.
You don't know the impact that influence has on somebody.
If we're going sports wise, that brings it up.
I mean,
bumps it up a little
that's
bit.
something different. But
The impact somebody that influence has is huge. Like you cannot say that if I say into the ether, this person has influenced my style and I look up to them as a big homie, and then you say, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to discredit that.
Well,
like,
I-
how
You have
is
the
that-
right to say bruh, you're crushing your big homie, bruh. You don't
Right.
surpass that by
You're supposed to though.
But that's your
Okay,
point.
And
if
you're
I ain't
supposed
better
to.
than Big, I'm the
Big homie
closest
on the
one.
pedestal then.
But
Right.
that's
No,
the
you
point.
have to though. Michael Jackson said that in the interview. He said
Listen,
you always want
what-
to emulate the greats, but become better than
what
them.
I really
You
want to
always
know,
want to do that.
what I really want to know
Right.
is if this music was so legendary, why does it not resonate with the younger generation?
I don't
Like
know.
if it was
but
supposed to be
because
so good,
I have a 19-year-old daughter who loves Big.
Yeah, my 60-year-old
Like, I don't
daughter
know
loves
did
it.
you raise her listening to Big?
I raised her listening to all kinds of music.
Yeah, she-
Did you raise her listening to Big?
No, my daughter.
Did you raise her listening to Big?
I wish she was here. My daughter, until the age about 15, her favorite group was the Queen. She loved Queen. She was all about Queen until she was about 15, and then she started listening to black music. I thought my daughter just only liked like old rock, like that was her thing. You know what I'm saying? Beatles, Queen, Pink Floyd, that was her thing. And then about 16, she started hanging out with more black friends when she got to high school and started listening to hip hop. And I was like, you need to listen to Pac, you need to listen to Big, you need to listen to Tribe Called Quest, you need to listen. And she loves Big, right? So, and she loves she loves Tribe Called Quest more than all of them. But what I'm saying to you is that you cannot speak for an entire generation.
No, you
You're
can't.
only you.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm
I'm
saying,
saying,
to
but
you
that
is there
example
are
that-
young people
I-
that love Big.
We don't see it in the culture. We don't see it.
That's a great point.
That is
In the comments, every people who's gonna watch this, younger group. I know there's gonna be a lot of old heads in here. That please take it easy on us all. And a younger
Y'all
group as
can ride
well.
with them, it's good.
No, younger
It's
group
an
as well.
unpopular opinion
Leave
to
it
say
in the
that
comments
Big-
below. I want to know what everyone thinks because when you said it, it was like, dang. And then I'll be honest with you, I researched it, and there's a lot of people that do feel that way. So I understand that point, but there's also a lot of people who in those same comments on that same thread that we looked at was like, man, get all the way the hell up out of here with that.
I always expect that some people are going to be scared to push the culture forward.
I don't know if it's pushing
get
the culture forward by saying something so shocking.
It's an unpopular opinion to have. I get that. I get that. But sometimes you got to break through. When I ask, you know what I'm saying, the people whose musical opinions I respect, like, hey, listen, where does Big fit in this to you?
What age group?
They're going to be in my age group.
Exactly.
They're gonna
That's-
but you know what?
but that's what's gonna be
I
the-
asked my big homie, what's up? You know what he told me? He was like, you know what? You know, maybe he wasn't so great, but you know, I came up on that, so I'ma ride with him to the death.
No.
So
When
he
you asked,
he
when you-
won't
hold
part.
on.
He
Time
won't
out.
part
When
with
you
it.
asked me, I said, listen, as far as considering him the greatest, and that's why I think you get a little misconception of it because when we got to the core of it, you're like, I don't consider Biggie to be the best ever. I don't. Jay's the best ever. But
I don't
with that being said, when you thought that I thought that Biggie was the best ever is what started this debate. That's what started it. It's not.
No,
the
what
fact-
started this debate is when I told you that
No.
Ready to Die was overrated.
No. What started the debate is when you said Biggie was overrated. That's what started the debate.
No. It was ready to die.
No,
I remember. We were having this conversation. You said that Wayne was not a legend. I'm like, Wayne put in too much work to not be a legend. He was the hottest rapper out for a long time. Mm-hmm. So how can you say that he's not a legend?
Wayne is definitely a legend.
Wayne is absolutely a legend.
Y'all consider Wayne a legend.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying that Big's not a legend. I'm not saying that he's not a legend.
I'm giving work ethic some points though. That's just me personally.
Yeah, but you got to also understand a lot of the portion of Tupac's work came after he died. He recorded tracks and then people put them out after the fact.
How, bro?
Yeah,
I'm saying he had 4 albums while he was alive.
He put the work in.
I'm sure. Okay, so hold on. So if Puff has tracks, we know Puffy has albums that Big has verses of. If he was to put those out now, would you recant your statement? Let's just say he had the same amount of work.
If the songs were good,
I would hope so, and I would hope it's some good ones in there.
Yeah, there was some good in there.
I would hope.
Because, but hold on. But with that being said, the later stuff that they put out after Tupac had died, was any of it good?
Yes.
You mean like the stuff like the
Outlaw albums? The Outlaws and all that stuff. You really gonna hang?
I'm not gonna hang my hat on no blends.
That Eminem produced.
So one joint.
No, it was like a whole tape. I forgot what it was called.
Okay.
It had like ghetto gospel, the uppercut.
So nothing you remember?
No, I just can't remember the songs.
My point exactly. A lot of stuff that came out after Tupac had passed, he put a lot of stuff on wax. I mean, a lot of stuff on.
There's a reason why they was on the cutting room floor.
There's a reason why they were on the cutting room floor. It didn't come out. I'm sure if we could, and I know Big Puffy has a large part to do with that, because I'm sure there was other work that was done. Biggie he had an ear for music, man. The dude was nice. If there wasn't no Big, there'd be no Jay, there'd be no Ross. There'd be a lot of cats who couldn't have a lane to jump in there.
I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that.
They will say that. Those artists will say that.
I'm not gonna say that Biggie was not a legend, because Biggie was legendary. Like, I mean, there's a reason why his name rings out the way that it does.
I would give him. And there's a difference.
I would give him credit.
Dallas Cowboys are legendary.
Absolutely. Yes, I mean, they're America's team.
Quote unquote America's team. But like I said, a hype machine can push something to
the next
stratosphere.
Masses, absolutely.
To where people really will just jump out the window and defend something that's not working.
Biggie's not a result of hype.
Biggie listen, I ask you this. I mean, of course, this is going to be hypothetical.
Rapper.
If Big would have lived, if he would have lived to see 2005, would Big still be relevant in 2005? I'm going to argue no.
Absolutely.
With what?
The fact that we can see that Jay's real, and then you can't.
Jay is a different animal.
Hold on, Kev. You can't discredit the fact that Biggie died at 25. He never had a chance to evolve.
I don't remember
Jay's early. If you listen to earlier Jay-Z, he rapped like Twister. He was a fast rapper.
All right, he was a double-time rapper.
Okay. Until he slowed it down, the influence when him and Big got cool. I'm not saying Big ushered in his style. I'm saying he evolved. He had a chance to evolve till we got the blueprints and all those other things that Jay evolved.
That might be a part of the production, though. Like. As production,
so hold on. So you're saying Jay-Z was a production?
And no, I'm not saying he's doing production, but I'm saying
I'm saying
he took it up on himself to go out there and find a sound rather than I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna let Puff.
Who's to say that same quirky kid that we look at now as a weirdo is in Kanye West wouldn't have been in Big's camp? They were all in the same area. What I'm saying is we didn't have we didn't have a chance to see Big evolve. We didn't. I get what you're saying with Tupac, and I hate putting them hand in hand that you elevate Tupac because he had influential songs, but also Tupac was an actor. We don't know.
All right.
I mean,
that's great. That's awesome.
For real. That's artists.
Yeah, that's an artist for real.
Comparing artists.
I think y'all giving.
You gotta give that man points.
I think
for that.
y'all are giving Puff too much credit.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Puff has a TV channel now.
Right.
Bro.
Here's my question.
Puff is absolutely responsible for Big success.
Already had a sound before Puff got.
Where was it? What was it?
There's plenty of tracks.
The question.
I haven't heard any.
Let me heard those.
He was with DJ Mr. C before Puff. Like Mr. C
and
had.
them songs was hitting though.
Mr. C.
Absolutely.
What? Mr. C, bro, what?
The tranny dude?
Man, the tranny dude.
That was him. Mr. C, before he got the tranny, he actually was a.
What?
Now they're making sense.
Y'all reaching like a mug right now.
I understand the jokes and all that stuff, but what I'm saying to you is that in order for Puff to have identified Big as a talent, he had to have been already displaying it and have a following. In order, because Puff was a smart person, he's not going to attach a rising.
Puff saw something that was. It was
Let me ask you this question.
Okay. And also, y'all are applying a historical context that didn't exist back then. Because Puff, to be quite honest with you, he did not even launch Bad Boy with Big. Big was there, but he launched with Craig Mack. Big took off because Big was nice.
Yes.
It was not Puff.
Absolutely.
Big was nice.
Show me the songs. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the
Right
songs.
in the ear started Bad Boy. And then Big got on the remix.
He took the money.
Like, oh, and he got on the Dolly My Baby remix. And people was like, oh.
Who told him to do it? Who told him to do it?
What if that was Big's doing, though?
Hold on. His bars. You can't discredit the man because one man said, okay, you should get on this track and elevate his
thing. If you compare him to people who took the initiative on their own, yes, you can.
Yes, no, absolutely.
You get those points.
Okay.
What do you mean? For getting pointed in the right direction.
Pac was not self-made. Pac had assistants.
Exactly.
You're trying to act like Pac was this self-made.
Exactly. That's my point. I say about Shock G.
Songs by waiting on people, man.
Listen,
right? Nobody tailored Pac's sound, but it's not about Pac. We're not even talking about Pac.
I know, but what I'm saying, we only bring that up because you're saying that Big was influenced by Biggie. I mean, by Tupac. Then Tupac was
by Puff.
What by Puff? I'm sorry. Then Pac was influenced by Shock G and Suge Knight or Dre.
Neither one of them tailored his career.
They tailored his sound. They tailored his sound
for maybe a little bit of time.
What are you talking about? The whole earlier, I just broke that down. The whole earlier Tupac, the first 3 albums that he did, were all Shock G's influence.
Bro, I'm gonna need proof of that. I'm gonna need proof that Shock G was in the studio tailoring Tupac's sound.
Executive producer, or like what?
I need proof of that.
No, he was hanging. He was with them. He was
stuff.
Executive producer. Come on, that was a Hitman. That wasn't really like Puff was in there engineering a lot of things.
Bro,
that wasn't him.
Puff said what went and what did.
Here's a question I have for both. Here's a question I have for you. If Puff had this much influence on Big, why come Puff never did that again with any other artist?
He didn't.
Who?
Make another Big,
who?
Right?
I'm saying you're not gonna get. You're not gonna get a Big every time.
You know why? You know why?
How many hits
Big was Big?
Right. That's why. How many songs has Puff been able to put out, man? How many hits has Puff put out? Puff has continually put out. Why is Puff still in the business? Because he puts out hits.
I understand that, but what you just said, hold on.
Not still be popular.
I'm not saying it was a fluke. I'm not discrediting P. Diddy at all. What I'm saying is, you guys are you're elevating Pac and discrediting Biggie. If he did that, if that's your debate, then how come he never did that again?
I think arguably he has, but he's not going
to.
You know, I would say himself.
Anybody to push the culture in the way Big did.
So Big did push the culture. Hold on. So now Big pushed the culture. Okay, now
void, bro.
Now Big pushed the culture. We're back again.
You know what?
I said that though. Okay. He filled a void.
You know, I think that push the culture is the wrong set of words right there.
Clean it up for him.
No, because I get what he's saying. What I'm saying is exactly. I feel what you're saying, bro. He filled that void. So for that time,
moments ago, you just said that everybody was rapping that stuff.
Exactly.
How do you feel a void? What void? Everybody was doing it.
That R&B rapping.
The fat black dude with some bravado.
Who else did it? Who else did it?
Needed that. The culture wanted.
The culture didn't need that. He could do that. No.
Listen.
Hold on, Kay.
Puff put out hits.
We need a big fat black dude.
Puff put out hits. He made him smooth
at all.
He made him a player.
We needed something that was past the Grandmaster Flash. We needed something that was past Craig Max. Something that was.
So then what you're saying? Big pushed the culture.
He
did. I'm saying he filled a void that was not there previously, and that void was identified by Diddy. So he.
That's pushing the culture, though, okay?
And Biggie's back.
I don't think so.
That's pushing the culture.
I don't think it is.
I think if we're gonna say anything in that particular scenario, push the culture, it's Puff, bro.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Y'all ask who did Puff blow up? Puff blew himself up after that. I mean, Puff made music clear through till now. Like, yo, there's a reason that Puff is still putting out hits.
Okay.
Like, I'm saying.
Tell me the hits that Puff putting out now.
Bruh.
Are we talking about Puff as the artist, or are we talking
Puff
is
hold on,
artist or producer?
Hold on, time out. Puff's biggest album to date was the Family album. And who was featured on that?
Big had a couple songs, and everybody else, yes.
Who else was on Bad Boy at the time?
Right, everybody.
Biggie.
There was a lot of people.
It was a lot of Biggie. It was a lot of Biggie though.
Was it a lot of Biggie though? Was it a lot of Biggie?
The Miracle songs were all Biggie.
Let's find out.
Do some fact check.
Yeah, let's find out.
Hold on, but going back to what Kay was saying, that pushed the culture. What he's saying,
a
fat black dude with ashy knuckles was deemed sexy. Not anybody could do that. You can't continue that. Hold on, Kevin. I give you the point of Puffy being the player aspect of it. I will always hang my hat on that. Puffy probably told Big to act like that, like, yo, you're a player. This is what it is. We want to hear you the Coogee sweaters and everything. But to get on the microphone and put words to paper and put paper to the song was all Biggie. You can't give Puffy credit. He didn't write any lyrics.
Listen, we're not saying that Puff or that Big was not a talented lyricist. He could rap. So could a lot of the rappers on Freestyle Friday. All right, so
they can't make good songs. Biggie made good songs.
Puff makes good songs. They didn't have Puff.
How are you elevating? They didn't have Puff. I've never heard this. I've never heard this debate that people would just elevate Puffy and basically diminish Biggie. I've never heard this. Ever.
Look at Puff, man. He's not a fluke.
Right. No, I'm not saying Puffy was a fluke. What I'm saying, I'm still, neither one of you have answered my question. If Puff elevated Biggie, why didn't he do it with any other artist the way he did it with Biggie?
I mean, he had other artists that were big.
Another thing that elevated Biggie was the East Coast, West Coast thing, which we haven't had to push the media narrative.
Can we say the same thing about Tupac during that time?
I don't think that the East Coast West Coast beef really pushed Pac.
I think again,
the Machiavelli album didn't push Pac. The Machiavelli album didn't push Pac.
No, I do think the East Coast West Coast.
I don't think that's what he's remembered for right now.
He used that to his advantage, but again, the things that stuck are not from that. The things that stuck are the actual substance, bro. Like, yeah, it did stick in the culture as far as people knowing Pac is not to be messed with. That stuck.
What part? What part not to be messed with? In what aspect? I'm interested.
I mean, he's gonna come for if you make yourself an enemy, you got yourself an enemy.
Right. I think in a lot of ways, Tupac is influenced a lot of what's wrong with hip hop right now.
Oh man,
feel about it how you want.
As far as what?
Openly being able to address problems rather than
no. What I'm saying is you never heard Biggie talk about the thing like. The whole I know it's in the tea leaf to a whole other situation, but as far as the young boy aspect of I'm gonna get on the microphone or in front of a camera and talk as tough as I possibly can, because that's what it is. Like Soulja Boy, what he's doing right now.
But Soulja Boy ain't doing it talking to politicians and talking about actually
during that time. But that's what you need to understand, okay? But during that time, the later Tupac years, the gangster part, Tupac wasn't talking about a lot of stuff that was moving people. It was the earlier Pac that was. It wasn't the later one. That gangster Pac, you guys gotta throw him out. Because for you to stick to your argument, the later Pac is not going to be there. What album
are we talking about Pac on at this point?
The first three albums.
So after the third album, Pac stopped having things
after he got shot.
Relevant today?
No, after he got shot, he came with the All Eyes on Me, the double CD, which was really not him. There was a lot of other features on there. It was just because he got shot, and I understand all that. After that Tupac was totally different than the first three albums. The first three albums, I'll give you. Vintage. Great artist. The later part, that's debatable, man.
I'm saying, all right, so we're saying that Pac didn't have any substance on songs like No More Pain, or songs like Life Goes On, or songs like I Ain't Mad At You, or songs like Shorty Wanna Be a Thug, or songs like Holler At Me, or Wonder Why They Call You Bitch. Like, no, this is All Eyes on Me. Yeah. So I'm saying, is that what we're saying? Is that what we're saying right now?
That's not what
I'm saying. No. I'm saying, is that what we're saying? We're saying that Pac didn't put any more substance into his music after that. That he was all rah-rah. Is that what we're saying?
No, what I said was you said something about the East Coast West Coast thing didn't elevate, and I said Machiavelli Pac. That Pac elevate. He was elevated because of that.
He was already on a pedestal prior.
But that elevated him. A lot of people, if you go to your peers, just somebody you guys' age group, they're gonna relate to that. Like, oh, Pac went in his head, just like you just said earlier in the debate.
He knows
right. But you're leaning on that Machiavelli Pac. It was elevated.
But what I'm saying is that's not the biggest thing that stuck to the board when we're talking about Pac.
His legacy,
about substance.
But see,
his legacy is substance.
But so I give you at some point in Pac's career he had substance. But
all throughout.
But then there was a point in his career where he was talking about nonsense. Mm-hmm. And to say that he wasn't is a ridiculous
Nobody's saying that he wasn't,
So all I'm saying is that Pac is a legend because of his cultural influence and the things that he did that were substantive. I don't dispute that at all. But what I'm saying is that Biggie is equally a legend because his contributions as a lyricist are equally valuable in the culture of hip hop. Right. And to say they have different contributions, but they were put in the same category because they were the scene.
I can't put that in the same category because Pac's message went beyond the music.
You're missing my point.
I'm saying Biggie's lyricism only fits in hip hop. Right, Pac's influence does not just fit in hip hop.
That's the point. You're missing my point. Pac's influence was a cultural influence that goes beyond hip hop.
Right.
I'm never going to take away that component. But what I'm saying to you is that Biggie's context lives within the realm of hip hop, and it's equally important to the culture
in hip hop.
In hip hop,
I don't care about that. I don't. But see, for my point is
hip hop.
What you're saying is Biggie is a rapper. That is what you're saying. Biggie is a rapper.
No, he's not saying that at all.
That's exactly what you're saying.
No, he's not. But what I'm saying is that when looking at the hip hop culture, There are different components of the culture that can make you a legend. Like looking at Bobino Brown and saying he was a break dancer, he is a legend in hip hop culture. Biggie as a rapper is a legend in hip hop culture. That you don't have to be able to say that at the cost of Tupac. You don't think so? And I don't understand why you think you do.
We're not.
No, I'm not. But I wouldn't. When you say that the influence is equal, and it's not. You can. He can.
How can you say it's not?
He can have lyrical influence,
but how can you say it's not?
It is equal.
Global
It is equal because just as me, I'm not a break dancer. I don't even like break dancing, but I'm not going to discredit somebody during the hip hop age who did break dancing and that was their influence on hip hop. I can't discredit them. But what I'm saying though, I'm trying to bring an apples to apples comparison. I apologize if I'm not, but I'm saying is there's different tea leaves in hip hop. You can't just say just because Pac was because politicians and he ruffled feathers in the economy that it would just be okay. We got to discredit the fact that Biggie was an amazing lyricist who rapped about hip hop, who painted a picture for a white kid who probably never knew anything about the hood or hip hop, could paint a vivid picture in Juicy and tell him what hip hop was.
Okay, so then let's compare apples to apples. Then we got Biggie with one apple for lyricism. Mm-hmm. We have Pac with a couple apples. We got substance. We got storytelling. We got actual reaching out and sonically pushing by getting different producers. We got acting. Yeah. We got revolutionary pushing a social agenda.
It goes back to the point of
off the hip hop platform.
Pac can have all of those things, but it has nothing to do with Big.
I don't think it does. I don't think that Tupac and Biggie.
Equal if all we're saying is Big contributed lyricism,
right?
And Pac contributed.
We're not arguing Tupac and Biggie though. Like what we're arguing is.
I'm only bringing the two up because you can't discredit one and not elevate the other. You're discrediting one. You're elevating Tupac and discrediting Biggie.
Not even discrediting.
For the same.
I'm just counting.
For the same.
I'm just looking at the scoreboard. That's
okay. No, I'm not even trying to put a scoreboard to tally up. I'm saying both artists had an influence on the culture. They both did.
Agreed.
They both did. So for you to
but they weren't equal though.
No, I'm not saying they were equal. I'm not anything to say they're equal because you can't put them on the board and say, okay, Pac had a bunch of albums, a bunch of music to put out, which more of us to rate on that. Biggie didn't have as much, but you're not ever going to say, listening to Biggie, like this dude was an exceptional rapper. During that time, he was the man at that time. They were the two top at that time. You can't just say, okay, he was overrated.
We're not arguing that he wasn't, man. We're not arguing that he wasn't.
If we're reducing the conversation to just, in most people's context, what hip hop is, and that's rapping, there's no comparison.
No.
And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're talking about the skill set of
the skill set
putting the words together because I would rather listen to what is it? Ambitions as a Writer than Juicy. I would rather listen to California Love than Hypnotize.
Okay.
So
okay. But I mean that's Tupac to Biggie. What I'm trying to figure out is Biggie was an A1 lyricist. Like he could rap. What was he rapping about?
Rap about a lot of things though, Kev.
Yes.
But Kev,
throwing them over the bridge,
and it goes back
and doing things to people's fathers.
We're going back to
he rapping about a lot of things, man. He's rapping about a lot of things.
I'm gonna let you get done because you're getting Kev one right now. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. He's getting his Kev one right now. I'm not gonna fall into that trap.
You feel me?
It is a fact though. It's a fact. That man did want to do something to somebody's dad.
Yeah, he wanted to do some very nasty things.
You're trolling.
It's not. I'm saying when I listen to Big's music, I can appreciate what he is as a lyricist. He is you're not gonna find me saying that Big couldn't rap. Big could rap. He was a good rapper. He could put words together. Right, there've been a lot.
Paint a picture.
He could tell a story, but most of those stories weren't his.
Stan.
The stories that Pac told was his.
Yes.
Brenda got a baby. Did he find a baby? That was Brenda's story.
He never said that was his story.
I'm saying that was Brenda's story.
All right, that was Brenda's story. Dear Mama sounds. Yeah, that sounds pretty personal.
Okay.
Juicy's not personal.
Juicy's not personal.
I mean.
Come on now. Come on now. Look at
all right, we got two personal tracks. Let's compare where they resonated in the culture up to today. Which
they both were dope.
Oh my
they both were dope.
I'm saying they both were dope. Hold on. I'm saying.
You're not come up.
Yeah, you're
right. Everybody talks
about Juicy.
Come on, man. Let's be real.
Listen, I was gonna say. Hold on. No. I'm saying. How many times have you been around? You know what I'm saying? A group. I mean, you an artist. So how many times have you been around a group of rappers that are like, man, damn, Big was really putting it down on Juicy, bro. I need to record me a Juicy, dog.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
And I'm not
Listen,
going to say that people don't got love or respect for Big, but
they do.
Bruh, he's not on that pedestal.
Are you telling me that every rapper don't want a juicy? Every rapper does have a juicy.
Yeah.
Every rapper has their come up story. Every rapper has their come up story.
Pretty much every rapper's first album is going to have a juicy on it.
What's so special? Yeah,
exactly. Every rapper has one. What's so special? Every rapper doesn't have a Dear Mama.
Because every rapper don't have a good mama either. He had a
every
Feeney
rapper
Shakur.
don't have.
Let's be clear. He had a Feeney Shakur.
Every rapper don't got a Brenda.
But but hold on. But even with that said, I can think just off the top of my head a couple rappers that had albums about or tracks about a missing parent.
Kanye, yeah. Or you said what?
A missing parent.
Yeah.
I can hear J. Cole.
Yeah, Cole. Okay, but that's part of our culture. Like,
exactly. So
90% of
black households don't got you just walked into my debate. You just walked into it because like you said, I can look on the first CD of every artist when they come out with their first album. It's always gonna be a come up story on there.
Okay, but what I'm saying is one thing. If we're gonna be just black and white about it, in our community, then we know 90% of these broken homes, these children are with the mother. We know that damn near 100% of this demographic is in taking hip hop. Why don't we have more Dear Mamas then?
Because
why does everybody have a come up story, but everybody doesn't have
right,
the artistic capability to put together a Dear Mama?
I'm not rapping.
Everybody
about
appreciates their mom. Every rapper does. Why don't we hear it all the time like we hear it come up story?
Right. I mean, because everybody's mama wasn't a Feeney Shakur. I mean, that was.
You gotta realize.
He said she did crack. Everybody's mom, I'm sure, was better than that.
50 Cent had a track like that.
Listen.
I'm just saying, bro. His mom wasn't the best mom. We're not gonna paint. We're not painting it as he did it because
he just made you remember it that way.
Hold a minute. It's not about. It's not about the fact that his mom was a good mom or not. But you can also not take away from the fact that his mom had him around Black Panthers, had him around influential people that kind of shaped his mind and his worldview. That is why you're so happy in love with his work. That is his mama's doing. His mom, he didn't put himself around Black Panthers.
Base the Feeney.
Okay, so
base the Feeney.
So in order, hold on. So
elevator Feeney,
as an artist, didn't say, "Mom, hey, put me around the Black Panthers. Put me in Oakland."
As an artist, you should be able to articulate your point using your vocabulary. Period. Right. Now, I'm gonna say again, like you said, he had a mom that put him in position to do such and such. We have a lot of rappers who grew up with their moms, who they don't need to be a Black Panther for you to have appreciation for your mom. Just like you said, everybody has a come up story. Everybody pretty much had that single mom. Why don't we have more of those songs? Paying homage. That's why the song resonates like that, and why Juicy won't, because we got 100 Juicies and one Dear Mama.
There wasn't 100 Juicies though.
You just said everybody's first album has a Juicy.
No,
everybody's first album has a come up
story. Doesn't have a Juicy.
That's what Juicy is though.
And Juicy is his coming from nothing to something.
Right.
Okay. That was his.
And we're gonna give as far as why it sonically resonates and why that isn't as harsh on the ear is Puff. Everybody's come up story didn't have Puff, which is why you're gonna lean on a Juicy.
Listen, I guess
I'm still waiting on the argument on what made Big so great. That's all I really want to hear because we're talking. I agree with that. I agree. We've got a good argument right there. Puff is what made Big great.
I disagree
because Puff makes hits. I agree with that. I know that's a track record, a proven fact.
What makes Big so great is that lyrically, he's one of the illest rappers.
I could argue that Nas was better.
Ever.
I could argue that Nas was better.
Other bars better than him right now.
Cole,
Jay.
Let's be clear. Cole,
Lupe. If we want to talk about putting together bars better, Lupe.
Listen, Biggie is in the conversation. You can't just say that these dudes are just putting together bars just better than Big.
Okay.
Big
3 Stacks.
Is putting together bars that's equal to all of those cats.
Did you say Big Sean?
Big Sean.
We might end this podcast.
We're at the point
Big Sean isn't on my Mount Rushmore.
I got you.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna talk about people don't give him his credit because he stays with a radio banger. But at the end of the day,
I will give you.
I haven't heard a weak verse from
Big Sean has gotten better. We talked about this before.
Yeah,
Big Sean progressively has gotten better, but don't bring it up.
I haven't heard a weak verse from him. Is all I'm saying. It's a lot of wordsmiths out here, bro.
Yeah,
that don't have ditties in their corner.
Was that Pusher's album he was on the end where he put the worst bar of 2000, whatever that year was?
I don't know.
Okay, well I don't know.
Who did it?
Shaun, Big Sean, his verse on that was
I must not
atrocious. You missed that one because it was atrocious. And but yeah, man. I mean,
Push too. We're talking about putting words together. Push
is okay.
Yeah.
I guess I've never heard.
I mean, M was leaps and bounds.
As being,
Yeah,
a good lyricist. A good lyricist as an artist, overrated. Like, I mean, when I have to put him into a catalog with all art, all music, sonically, Big is a little bit overrated. He does not fit
now,
in those catalogs.
If we're gonna listen to acapella, he might have a leg up on a lot more people.
Yes.
But that ain't what being the artist is about. It's about that beat selection. It's about how you cater to the beat. It's about your cadence on the record.
How that music ages.
That you're doing.
So
all of that is part of being a good artist.
So Big
one
don't
of the
have
best
flow and
artists.
cadence? Like, what do you...
No, I'm saying he does.
He does. That's why we just said as the acapellas was going.
He's going to have a leg up on a little more people. But if we're talking about best artists, I gotta give everything a certain amount of credence and points. And your beat selection, your content, all that is going to be relative.
Even going beyond hip hop. Even going beyond hip hop.
The best beat selection for his generation, for his era.
All right, no, I can't give that an excuse for his generation. I can't let that slide. Like, that is not an excuse. How does it sound today? Ambitious and Rider still sounds great. Machine Gun Funk sounds good today.
Yeah.
Oh man, all right, end this. You can hit stop, bro. Machine Gun Funk sounds good today. All right.
And once again, it goes back to it goes back to preference.
I think it does go back to preference.
It goes back to preference.
So would you not say that Wu-Tang still sounds good today?
Not really.
I would.
I would not.
Yeah,
so I'm not gonna go that far, bro.
This conversation is. I think
RZA's rapper is terrible.
That we were going to agree to disagree.
Yeah, we
absolutely.
Yeah, we absolutely.
And so I think we're at the point of the conversation where we're starting to circle back to the same argument.
I just wish that I could have gotten some proof as to what made Big so great as an artist.
All right, let us know what you think in the comments below. It's a spirited conversation, I'm sure. People are going to leave it there. We'll definitely read and respond to all of them, man. Thanks for rocking with us today. Thanks for Shaun. Thanks for K, Nate Air, Kev. We out here. Drink more water, people.
Peace.